Lance Lynn storyline coming back, making his first start of the season. Obviously pushed up a little bit. Was supposed to go Tuesday, but with the injury to Kopech early on Sunday, this moves everybody up here, and Lance Lynn gets the call. A little bit of a rude welcome for him, but he did settle into it a little bit. And I would say he went, at least pitch count wise, Steve, a little bit longer than I expected.
Yeah, I think they had talked that coming into the game, the expectation was he'd probably be around 70, 75 pitches. Knowing Lance Lynn, the bulldog and the guts and nuts mindset that he has, I'm sure he went to Tony La Russa and Ethan Katz after that fourth inning and said, I want to go back out there. And who are they to tell the big boy no at the end of the day?
Yeah, I like what our guy Sox Insane tweeted during when he came out there. He says, I think Lance Lynn decides when he comes out of the game. It's not a coaching decision there.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
And I don't know anybody that wants to get in the way of the big boy there if he gets all hot and bothered.
Yeah, especially maybe Joe McEwing now. Maybe he's got a little extra fear.
Interesting little segue.
Yeah, I mean, let's just go and start it because obviously as we're getting into the game here a little bit, White Sox are able to take a 2-0 lead early with the Pito home run in the first, but the Tigers were swinging early on Lance Lynn. You could tell that was their approach. They were swinging early. They knew that they were going to get fastballs, so they went, or cutters, whatever. It's all kind of just variations of a fastball when it comes to Lance Lynn. So they were swinging early, got to him a bit, obviously. Once again, first outing of the year. I think Stone made a good comment. This is still technically, I guess you could consider almost like a spring training-esque sort of like in terms of where he is in his, being back into the swing of things here. So he has some hits against him. Tigers tie it up at 2 in the first, and then in the second, Detroit takes the lead. And Lance was not very happy about a certain shift in there. And then him and Joe, Super Joe, have a little dust up in the dugout. Tell me what that's all about, Steve.
Look, Lance Lynn is a fiery, competitive guy. We all know that. He's one guy that on this team probably brings more fire and passion than just about anybody else in there. And look, as a pitcher, you're not always going to agree with particular shifts that happen out there. I could certainly make the argument that the White Sox coaching staff probably doesn't apply information the best across the league there. So, I could understand Lance's
very bold
frustration.
statement of you there. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really going out on a limb with that one. So, you could make the argument that maybe the shift wasn't applied appropriately in this position here. But at the end of the day, Lance is a competitor out there, and he's going to be upset about that. And I think people are trying to make this out to be a little more than it really needs to be. Fact of the matter is, this type of stuff happens over the course of 162 games all the time. You just don't always see it. It happened to be right there in plain view of the cameras in the dugout. Right. A lot of times that stuff will happen in the tunnel or in the clubhouse, and that's just part of the game. I've been part of teams that have had dust-ups like that in the dugout. It's just something that's going to happen. You're in a very competitive, fiery moment there, and sometimes your emotions can get the best of you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say, think about how much that happens when it's not on camera there. So obviously everybody can see it, but for my biggest takeaway from that, Steve, is I don't give a shit what the argument was about. Obviously, there's no audio on that. You could just see them. I like the fire and the passion, the grit, the guts, the hashtag TWTW there. Josie gives a shit. It feels like we haven't had that for most of the season with this being out.
You're 100% right. We all know Lance is a guy that wears his heart on his sleeve, and he's going to go out there and he's going to have the emotions. And he was out there motherfucking himself after that first and second inning because he was not happy with his location on a number of pitches. Granted, there was quite a bit of soft contact in there and balls were finding holes, but at the end of the day, he wasn't thrilled about that. And he is not one to hide his displeasure for himself when he does not execute out there on the mound. So he holds himself to the same accountability standards that he does everybody else that is in uniform there. And that's what you want to see out of a guy.